This is the most important video of algo trading because the Pandas library is one of the most important library. Why? Because every algo trader or a quant trader have to deal with the data 70% of their time. That means you have to be expert in data analysis and data manipulation. And this Pandas library is your gateway to the data manipulation and data analysis. And let me show you what you can do with the Pandas. This is just the trailer. And if you follow along with me for few days, you will see the power of Pandas. And I have seen so many comments that please just directly go to the algo trading. This is the algo trading, right? Because if you are good in data, then everything becomes so easy, correct? So let me quickly show you that what you can achieve with the Pandas. You can quickly create these kind of extraordinary plots with the Pandas. Let me show you a few more. And if you work hard, then you can also learn how to create 3D candlestick charts with volume bars. Right? This is just a simple trailer. It depends on your hard work, it depends on your imagination, and it depends on your consistency that how you can use the Pandas in your algo trading. So let me show you candlestick chart. You can see here, it is really awesome and beautiful. And this is what you see in all the exchanges, right? You can even create 3D line plot for moving averages. You can even rotate this 3D plot. And if you want, you can also create 3D bubble chart for stock day. This is so powerful, absolutely amazing, and absolutely beautiful. See, this is for Google, Apple, and Microsoft. And if you are curious enough, you can also create 3D surface plot of stock price. You can even rotate this also. And this is the Apple price movement with annotations, and Apple with Bollinger Bands and RSI, and a correlation of stock returns. You can see here, it is really amazing, and it becomes so easy once you learn the Pandas thoroughly. So we will take time, and you let me know if you want me to give enough time to Pandas or not, or if you just want me to just go through it and move to the next topic. You can let me know in the comments. So as I have mentioned already, that any algo trader or a quant trader gives 70% of their time in data analysis. So you have to be proficient in data analysis, right? So we will give enough time to this Pandas library, and I will make sure that you learn each and everything. And I will also make sure that you understand few of the secret tricks and tips that only few of the expert algo traders knows. And one more thing, that after watching this video, please you decide that what you want. You want me to quickly cover this topic, or you want a deep understanding of this Pandas, right? So with that being said, let's get started. Pandas in algorithmic trading. Pandas is a powerful data manipulation and analysis library for Python. It provides data structures like series and data frame, which are essential for handling and analyzing time series data such as stock prices in algorithmic trading. So as we have previously learned that in NumPy, we have single major data structure, that is NumPy and the array. Similarly, in Pandas, we have two major data structures, that is series and data frame. And that is absolutely simple. And you have seen those data structures since your childhood. Let me show you how. Okay. So as this line says, it provides data structures like series and data frame. So what is a series and what is a data frame? So simply, if you have seen in the Excel, MS Excel, we have a table, right? And inside that, we have few columns and few rows, right? Let's say the first column is serial number, second is, let's say, price of stock, and third, let's say, symbol of the stock, and it could be the date, right? Now this is simply a data frame. That's it. A table means a data frame. Table is equals to a data frame. As simple as that. Now this data frame consists of 4 columns and 5 rows, right? So any single column or a single row is known as the series. That's it. That is a basic definition of series. So let's say if you take this row out of this table, it will become a series. Simple. Similarly, if you take out this row out of this data frame, it will become another series. Means simply a single row or a single column is known as the series. Hopefully it's clear. If you have any doubt, please get it cleared in the comments. Now let's understand some key features in Pandas. The first feature is data structure. So it provides a series that is 1D and data frame that is 2D for structured data, right? We have seen that this is the whole table is 2D and a single row or column is 1D, correct? Then, time series analysis. Inbuilt support for handling and manipulating time series data. Because in trading, we have the historical prices or even the live prices, and all those prices are based on the time. So it has an inbuilt support for time series analysis, and that is really very, very important. So we'll give enough time in understanding time series analysis, right? Then we have the data cleaning. Guys, please understand this important concept that let's say you have downloaded a data of last 10 years of any stock, let's say Apple, Bitcoin, anything, right? So in that data of 10 years, if you have any value that is not desired, then it might break your whole code or it might alter all the results. So you might get completely different results from what is your expectations. So it becomes extremely important to clean your data. So it has tools for handling missing data, filtering and aggregating data, right? The fourth point is data alignment. So the pandas can automatically align data based on labels, making operations intuitive. The fifth one is integration. So it can easily integrate with other libraries like NumPy, Matplotlib, and SciPy. So we will learn few more libraries after the pandas, and you will see that how it can easily integrate with those libraries. Then the last is I/O tools. So functions for reading and writing data from various formats such as CSV, Excel, SQL, etc. means we can analyze or we can manipulate any kind of format like CSV, Excel, SQL, and all those. So now when we discuss in SQL, so let me know if you want a session on SQL, because in algo trading you will need to have a good knowledge of SQL also, right? So let me know in comments that if you want a session on SQL or not. Okay, now before moving further, let's compare NumPy and pandas, right? So as we understood that in pandas we have two major data structures, that is series that is 1D and data frame that is 2D. Similarly, in NumPy we have n dimensional array that is ND array, right? Again, pandas is majorly used for data manipulation and analysis, whereas NumPy is used for numerical computation and operations. So we will be using NumPy also in the pandas, because in trading the whole game is about the time, right? Because in trading the whole game is about the time. So we have to make sure that we are time efficient. Pandas have excellent support for time series, and that is required in algo trading. But NumPy has basic support. Again, pandas have built-in functions for handling missing data, right? Whereas NumPy requires custom handling. Pandas can automatically align the values based on the labels, but in NumPy we do not have the alignment because it is purely positional. Next, pandas is slower due to additional features. As we know that, and as we have discussed previously, that the more features we have, it will become more slower. That's why ND array have only one thing, and that is only the values, and because of that it is very fast, and also it is based on the C, right? Again, pandas have robust group by and aggregation methods. So group by is also another object of pandas, and we will learn that also thoroughly because it is also very important in algo trading. So we'll learn that also. Whereas NumPy has limited grouping capabilities. Again, pandas integrates well with other data tools, whereas NumPy serves as the computational backbone. And we can easily integrate the pandas with Matplotlib, whereas NumPy requires external plotting libraries. Again, pandas have higher memory uses due to metadata, right? Whereas NumPy is more memory efficient for raw numerical data. So that was the basic comparison, and you should be having a good understanding of both the NumPy and pandas for efficient algo trading operation. Now let's quickly dive into the interesting, and let's understand the pandas with live coding. So the first thing is how to import pandas. Simply we can write import pandas as PD. That's it. Okay. But as we know that we will be using NumPy also along with the pandas, so it's better always to import NumPy along with the pandas, right? So we just write import NumPy as NP. Correct? So when you hit shift enter, if it doesn't throw any error, that means you have written anything right and both of your libraries have been imported. Now let's create a series with list. We know that a series is just a single row or a single column of any table, right? So series from list. So what we will do, we will create a series. So let's say list of string str, correct? Then I can give a strings. So let's say the name of stocks. So Apple, then Microsoft, then let's say Bitcoin and Ethereum, correct? Now you have to write pd dot. This is a series class, and inside that you just have to pass your list. So list str, correct? And that's it. You have your series. So when you hit shift enter, you will get the series. But you might be wondering that I have just given the strings, but how come these numbers are here? 0, 1, 2, 3. And that is the default index of any series or any data frame. So whenever you create anything, any series or any data frame, without explicitly giving the index, then this pandas will assign that index to your series. Okay, now let's move and create a series with integers. So what I'll do, I'll create a list of integers, and let's say the price. So 100, 100, 100, 100, and I can give it the name like list integers, correct? And similarly, you have to write pd series, and you have to pass the list. So list integer, and again when you hit shift enter, you will see that you have your integer series with the default index given by the pandas. Now there are three things to observe. The first is the index, that is the default index by pandas. Second is the values. These are known as the value, right? The value of this series. And the third is the data type. So here it was object, and here it is integer 64. So you can say that in pandas, a string is always considered as the object, and the numbers can be considered as integer 64, integer 32, or integer 16, or even 8 also. So if you want to optimize your code or you want to reduce your code, you can make it integer 32 if it is possible. You have to consider the situation that if it is possible, then you can convert your numbers from 64 to 32 and your size will be reduced to half, right? Now let's create a series with our own custom index. So before that, the index was given by the pandas. Now we will give our own custom index. So for that, what we can do, we can take these same list. So I'll paste it here, the list of string, and again the list of integers, correct? It's also very simple. You just have to write pd.series, and you have to give first the list of strings, or first let's give the list of integer. So list of integer, then you can give index equals to list of string. That's it, right? So now when you hit shift enter, you will see that you have your string of list as your index. But one more thing to keep in your mind, that even though here you cannot see the index, but behind the scenes there is always a hidden index, and that is your default index. So if you want to access these values, you can access with this index, your custom index, or you can access with your default index that is behind the scenes. Let me just quickly show you that also. I'll add a code here, and I can assign it to any variable. Let's say a series variable, ser, and let's say series cust. Okay, and here what I'll do, I'll just hit shift enter here, and now series cust, and now let's say we want to access the values from the index name. I can just give Apple, and you will have the value as 100. But if you give 0 here, you will still get the value. But now it says something that series get item treating keys as positions is deprecated, and in a future version, integer keys will always be treated as labels consistent with data frame behavior. To access the value by position, use series.ilog position. Okay, so we will learn this also again, but for now, you just think that it is always having a default index given by the pandas and also a custom index given by us. Okay, and this ilog we will learn. This is also very important. So we'll learn this in the data frame. Okay, and now how do you verify that it is a series or a data frame? So let's just check it with the type, and when you hit shift enter, you will see that it is a series, right? So with the help of type, you can know that whether it's a series or a data frame, right? Now let's remove this for now, and or let's keep it. Maybe if you want to refer it in future, so you can take it from the GitHub and use on your own. Now, okay, now let's take this again and I'll paste it here, setting a name. And here we know that I'll just remove it for now. Now we know that we have done this already. And when we hit shift enter, we get three things. One is custom index, another is the values, and third is the data type. Now, let's say if I want a name here. So for that, what we can do, we can write name equals to a string, and we can say the stock prices of Kuldeep, right? And when you hit shift enter, you will see now four things. One is the custom index, another is the value, third is the name, and fourth is the data type. I'll just show you in this session only that what is the use of this name. Okay, for now you can just remember that we can also assign a name to a series. Okay, now let's learn how to create a series from a dictionary. So what we will do, we'll just copy and paste this list of string here and we'll make it a dictionary. So instead of list, I'll write here dictionary. Then I'll create a dictionary here. So I'll just remove this square bracket and I will give a curly bracket here. And Apple is 100, Microsoft is 200, Bitcoin is 300, and Ethereum is 400. No, it's not fair, yeah. Bitcoin cannot be 300. Let's make it 3 million. I think now it's fair enough, right? Now, let's repeat the same thing again. So what we can do, PD series, and just pass the dictionary here, dictionary str, and hit shift enter. And you will see that you have now an index, the values, and the data type, right? Similarly, you can also give the name here. So I'll just give this same name here also, and I'll just give a comma and the name, and you will see the name also here, right? Okay, now let's understand the series attributes. So if you have understood the object-oriented programming very carefully, then you must know what are the attributes and what are the methods. So we know that in a class we have two things. One is attributes and another is methods. So here the class is series, and now we will be accessing the attributes and methods of the series class. So what we can do, I will just assign it to any value, any variable. So let's say I make it dict series is equals to, and I'll hit shift enter. So now we have created the object of the series class, right? The same, exactly same, right? So that's why I say the basics, the fundamentals are absolutely important. If you are good in your basics, then you will see that you are able to do any complex thing with absolute easiness, right? So now I'll give the object, or we can say dict seed here, and to access any attribute, what we do, we just type a dot, and you will see that you will be having all the attributes of that class. So first you will see the size attribute. So if I write size, it will display all the elements, the number of elements in that particular series. So it is currently showing me 4, and when we calculate that, it is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Means that is correct, right? Next we have is the D type. So again, when I write dict series dot D type, and when you hit shift enter, you will see that it says integer 64, right? It was also shown here also integer 64. So if you want to change, you can change it to any other, right? And when you change, the size of that series will be reduced, or you can say the size of that file will be reduced. Next we have is the name. So again, when I write dict series dot name, it will show us the name of the series which we have given earlier, the stock prices of Kuldeep, right? Now it's very interesting. It says is unique. So when I write dict is unique, it will give us a Boolean value, true or false. So when I check, it says me true. Why? Because here all the values are unique. So if I make here any value as repeated, let's say Ethereum, I'll just copy here and paste here. And now when I check is unique, it says true. Why? Because here, we have to remove this, and when we check, because dictionary cannot have duplicate keys, right? So for that, you need to change it a little bit. And when you change, we have that. And now when you check is unique, it says false, because the value of both the Ethereum and Ethereum is 400 and it is not unique now. So one more thing to recall, that dictionary cannot have duplicate values. Keep in mind, right? Next we have is the index. So you can simply print the index with index attribute. You can see here, this is the index attribute, and when you check the D type of this object, you will see that it is type of this, it is index object. We will learn this also in future, don't worry. Now we have is the values. So for values, it will just print the values, and the values will be an array. It will be an AND array. So let's check the type of this, and when we check the type, you can see it is NumPy AND array. Why? Because we want to make our program faster, and that's why this Pandas is using the integer values as the AND array. At least we have some benefits of the NumPy here. So that's why I told you to import NumPy also along with the Pandas. So sometimes you might need to use the NumPy functions, right? Now, I think this was the basic and you are able to get all the things correct. Okay, now we have a little bit interesting part, that is series using read CSV. So what is CSV? CSV is a comma separated values. So it's same like an Excel file, but the values are separated by a comma. So let's do one thing. Let's create a CSV first, and then we will use that with 1 column and 2 columns. So for that, I will just paste a code here. That is very easy. But for that, you let me know that whether you want to understand the APIs or not. Whether you want to understand the APIs or not. We can cover that in a future video, in a single video. And I'll show you how you can create your own APIs and how you can use those APIs, right? So for now, I'll simply paste the code here so we can fetch the prices from the CoinGecko. Then we will create a data frame, and in short, I'm just creating a simple CSV file. So for you, if you are not getting this, you just think that we have imported a CSV file from anywhere, that's it. But if you are able to understand, it's good enough. And if you still have any doubt, you let me know. We will cover this in a separate video, and it's absolutely simple. If you are able to understand the Pandas, you will be able to understand the APIs easily. So it's your call to let me know whether you want to understand the APIs or not, and we can cover that, right? Now I'm pasting this code here, right? So it's very easy. You can see that we are first importing the Pandas, then a request. So request is generally for the API connections, and then simply the URL that is given by the CoinGecko itself, and they have a full documentation where you can understand it very easily. You can just go and copy paste from their website and you can use. So means in Algo trading you will be using APIs a lot, because all the exchanges provide their APIs and you perform the algo trading with the help of APIs only. So means APIs also becomes crucial to understand, right? Here, what I'll do, you can just think that we have created a data frame df. So when I hit shift enter, we'll see the values, and here I can print it. When I write df, we'll see the whole table, right? So whole table, and this is the data frame. Okay, don't worry. For now, we are just understanding series. We will learn the whole data frame concept in the next lecture. For now, just think that I have imported a simple CSV from any other source. Okay, so it was my way to import. So I could also have downloaded the CSV from Kaggle also, but to make you a little bit more interesting, I just show you here, right? So df, and so what I'll do, I'll just convert it to CSV. So df to CSV, okay, and I'll make a file name. So let's make it, I think it's day 24 of Algo trading series, right? And I will give an extension here, CSV, correct? So when you hit shift enter, actually it's day 23. In day 24, we will learn the data frames. Now when I hit shift enter, you will observe here, we have a CSV file with this name. You can observe in this folder, day 24. Actually, this is day 23, but we are working in day 24, and I'll just rename it after the video. So when I hit shift enter, it is saying us that no such file or directory. Why? Because we have to provide the path here. So for that, what we can do, I will just go here and I'll copy this path here, copy path, and I'll provide here. I can also give. So when I hit shift enter, now when you check in this folder, you can see that you have this file, day 23 Algo trading CSV. And when you check this, you can see the contents of this, right? So let's again open our file. So now we can see that with this function to CSV, you can convert any data frame to a CSV. And now when you want to read from the CSV, I'll add another column and I'll keep this here only. So it's optional for now. If you want to check, even if you don't understand, don't worry. For now, this is not the scope of this video. We will learn this later and it's very easy. Okay. Now when you want to read the CSV file, like this is a CSV file we have here, which we created right now. So if I want to read this, I need to use the pd dot read CSV function here. And we have to give the name of the file, that is day 23. Let's copy this path and I'll write here the whole path. And when I hit shift enter, we can see that we have the data of that file. So I'll just give it a name, df is equals to. So this whole content of the CSV file now will become a data frame, correct? Previously what we did, we imported the data from the CoinGecko and we stored that in a data frame, and then we converted that data frame to a CSV file. Now we are reversing that. What we are doing, we are importing a CSV file in this, and now we are storing the content of that CSV file to a data frame here, right? So now I shift enter, and again, now when I check the data frame here, we have this, right? Here what happened actually, now we have two indexes. So in order to avoid this, what you can do, while exporting to CSV, you can write here index is equals to false, right? So let's check it again. So when you hit shift enter, again when you run this, now what I'll do, I'll just go here, I'll run this code again, and I will export the file again from here, and here the index equals to false. If you want to avoid the duplicated index, you have to give this hidden parameter, that is index equals to false. And when you hit shift enter, you will have the file again. And now again read the file. And now when you check this df, you will see that you have only single index, right? So now let's start with our series. And the topic was understand the series with one column, right? So we have read the CSV, and additionally, I have also shown you how to create a CSV file from the web, right? How you can import the data from the web and you can convert that to a CSV and you can store, and then again you can read the CSV. So for now, we have this as a data frame. So you can check that again. This is a data frame, right? And I want to convert this to a series for now, because now we are reading the series. So how I can achieve that? So for that, what I need to do, I need to just extract only single column from this data frame, and that is a series, right? So what I will do, I will just extract, let's say the name and the current price. So I will just write the name, and I'll just copy here also for now, name. And when I shift enter, we have this series, and when you check this, you will see that this is a series, right? But what I want one more column, and that is the current price. So for that, I will just give here a comma, and I'll write the current price, and it says, okay, we have to give this inside the list, and now we have the name and the current price. And now when you check the type of this, it is a data frame, right? But we want a series. So how we can do that? Just pause the video and think that we have just studied this recently, very recently. So what you can do, you know that this is the default index from the Pandas, but you can make your own custom index. How you can do that? You can just write like this. I will write like df dot set index, or before that, I will store this in df. Okay, now we have the new data frame, that is this, and now I will use the set index function, right? And here I will make this name as the index, correct? And I can again make it a new data frame. And now when you check this, okay, actually it is done already, because now the index is the name, so it will throw error. You can check here the df, and when you check the type of this, you will see that this is a data frame still, because now even if we have a single column, still it's a data frame. That's the problem, right? So what we can do, we can just apply function that is known as the squeeze. So what I'll do here, df dot squeeze. When you hit shift enter, and you can again create a new variable. Let's make it series now, right? And when you hit shift enter, and now when you check this variable and check the type of this, you will see that this is a series, right? I think I have explained it very comprehensively, and it's very easy. You just have to focus and practice just twice or thrice, and you are good to go, right? So now we can also say that we have a series with a single column and with our own custom index, and we have also seen that we can even access these values with custom index, or we want with the default hidden index, right? With the, so let's say if I write 0 here, we will get the value, but that is deprecated. So we will be learning the iloc and lock in future. But for now, just keep that in mind. Okay. Okay. Now again, let's understand this output. So here we have 4 things. The first is the name, and that is also the index. Second is the values. Third is the name, that is current price. So it automatically takes the name as the column name, right? We have seen that previously in the CSV file, the column name. So it will take that name, and we can also give our custom name. And now you can think that when we want to create a CSV file and you are wondering that how we can give the column name, that's how you can give the column name, which we have just learned, right? Then it is giving us the length. Length means the total number of values in that particular column, and then the D type, that is the float 64. Now let me show you one more thing along with this, that how you can optimize your code and how you can reduce the memory footprint of your code. So as we have seen previously, that how to find the memory size. So what I'll do, I'll just have to import the sys library, sys, and then what you can do, you can just write simply sys dot get size of, and you can give that ser series here, and when you hit shift enter, you will get the size of that. You can also print this. When you print it, it's same, right? So now you can see that this is a float with 64, and the size is 11,507 bytes. But sometime what happens that you don't want the float value. Let's say if you're storing some kind of age or the simple index from 1 to 100, then the float is not required there. And if you change the data type, definitely the size of that particular file will be reduced. So what you can do, you can just change it from, let's say, let's change the type of this. So what I'll do, I'll just write as type, and I can give here as np dot float 32 and shift enter. And now when you check the size of this, you will see that okay, we can store this in another variable, let's say ASCR, and let's check the size of ASCR. So you can see that it has reduced a little bit. So now you think that when we have a huge database, it can be millions of lines, right? Then it will definitely impact. And let me show you something else. Let's make it integer 32. And now when we check the size of this, it's almost same, but when you make it integer, let's say 8, it is reduced a little bit, right? So, but when you optimize on a bigger data set, it is definitely a significant change, and it can save you a lot of money and make you a little bit smarter within your colleagues. I think we have covered the series with one column. Now let's again print the df here. Okay, now we have series with 2 columns. So let's again print the df, and df here is this one, and I think this is data frame only. So when I check, yeah, this is data frame. So now when I want to convert this to a series, what we can do, we can just use squeeze, which we have seen previously. And when you change it, and let's assign this to another variable, again series, and you can even check the type of this now, series, and type of this is series, right? So it's simple, nothing difficult.